Well, hey y'all, Backwoods Modeler here. Welcome back to my workshop. Today I think I'm going to build a new dually. Well, not really build it, it's already built. I'm going to take this Fort Worth, Texas truck and I'm going to attempt to get all this white stuff off of here. The numbers, the badging, all that. We're going to try to get all that off there, get it all back to original black. We're going to swap out this base with this red one that I've got here, just because it's quicker and easier, and it already has the chrome wheels and the white letter tires that I like. So I'm not sure that we're going to go with those wheels and tires, but we are going to change this base. This thing is crooked as all get out. I mean, look how that front wheel is. That thing is bad. Back wheels are not much better. Anyway, we're going to wipe all this stuff off here, and I got some new stuff from 802 Customs we're going to check out. We're going to try them out. I got this new front push bar that I think looks really good. We're going to put that on there. And then I got some other things. We're not necessarily going to put them on this truck, but I got a couple new flatbeds from 802 Customs. I got this cool little new toolbox that he's got out. That's new. This push bar is fairly new, well, new to me. They've got this new generator slash welder, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. Power unit, so I'm guessing this is just kind of like a generator. So I got that too. And we're going to try to make all this stuff work. Well, not this stuff, the flatbeds. Those are for other projects, toolboxes for other projects, but this will go on here. I got some new diesel exhaust tips. We'll put one of those on there. And we'll get this truck looking a lot better than it is. So let's get started. All right, as you can see, got her all nice and cleaned off. All the white from the police is gone. Even got off the tailgate. This side's all nice and clean. So now we got us a nice black truck to start with. I've already decided I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the bottom that was on it. You can see I painted it all. You can see a little bit of green right there where I had my clamp holding it on. And then I got this new push bar from 802 Customs. I got that painted. Still got to do the lights in there. The way he showed it on his website is his center was like a bar light, LED bar light. And then the two spotlights. But I have a winch that I made stick on here yet still. So we got that. And then I have these almost perfect tires here that have Goodyear on them. But I decided that after looking at this truck more and more, I think we're just going to go all out black. So I don't want to waste those perfectly stamped tires on this truck. So we got us a donor here. I'm just going to donate our tire wheels until, well, just the tires actually. I'm down to where I only have a couple of trucks that are not stamped white letter tires. So, and it so happens to be in like a 3-truck pack, and I don't want to open that one. So we're just going to use this truck for today. You see by the dust, she's been hanging around for a while. So I'm just going to steal the tires off this. I'll take the rims that are on there, since I like those chrome wagon wheels, and I'll put those in my container and save those for another project. And then I've got we're going to go ahead and reuse the rims that were on that truck. You can still see a little bit of green on those. I didn't paint the areas that nobody's ever going to see. So we painted those black. Those are the backs. Those are the fronts. After those dry, I will pop them off the axles that they're on, and then we are going to use my normal brass tube and rod that I like to use for the new axles. We'll get that all going and get that set up. So let's get moving with that. Alright, I'm about ready to start putting this thing back together. You don't normally have to take the windows out when you're working on these trucks, but this had so much white all over the doors that I didn't want to take a chance on hitting the windows with the acetone, so I just made sure I just went ahead and took them out just to be safe. They're really not that hard to put back in. I always dry fit them first just to make sure I don't have to trim anything off of the tabs. See that one goes back in good, so we don't have to mess with that. We'll just pop it back out of there and put some glue in it. Before we go any further though, we want to check the passenger side, because I don't want to have to get one in and find out I have to trim the other one, and then you're just fighting with it. So yeah, that one goes back in good too, so we're good with that. So now the way these are put in is, now it doesn't want to come back out. The way these are put in is there's just 2 tabs. We drilled the holes through here, and then the window has a couple of tabs on it. Then you just stick those back in the hole and glue them back in. Just put a little tiny dab of glue on here. I mean a really tiny dab. Just enough to hold it. Wipe off the excess. Get the right window. Drop it into place. Be careful you don't get the glue moved around there. There you go, snap it back in. So this one fits good, but I just want to make sure there's a little glue in there to make sure that this never comes back out. Put a little more touch on there. Like I said, it just takes a little tiny dab. This glue holds very well. That one goes in easier. There, now she's all snapped in. Now we got the windows back in. The bed and the interior, they basically just fall in, basically. It's got a little part for the tailgate, just goes in there. Just slide it up in there until it snaps into place. The interior, same way. It's got a couple of tabs up here. Just drop those down into here. Now this particular truck, I'm using the original base for it, so we don't have to glue the interior or anything else in, because we have a solid base that we're putting back on this truck. So we got that done. Now we're just waiting on the glue to dry for the rest. I'm not 100% sold on this bumper yet. I do think it looks good on there, but being all blacked out, I don't know if it takes away from it or not. But again, we're still deciding on that. And I do have a winch. I don't know how you're going to see this, but I have a winch that I got from Portland Car Lover a long time ago. Actually, not a long time ago, a couple months ago. And we're going to put that on there. Probably mount that right to the front of it. And then we're not going to put the front bumper back on. We just got to get the back bumper put back on. And as soon as our wheels and tires dry, we'll start getting this thing jacked up. So let me get that dry and we'll be back. Okay, now most everything is dry. My rims have been painted. They're all dry. Now it's time to put the axles in my tires. And this is what I use for my axles. It is a 1/16 brass rod. I buy this from Hobby Lobby. You see it comes in 5 pieces and it's about 18 inches long. And then for my tubing, I use a 3/32 brass tube. That comes in 4 pieces, and those are also about 18 inches long. I also use a 1/16 inch drill bit that I put in my little vice grips. I have an old pair here. I just clamp them in my vice grip, and then I will take it on put it in the hole of the rim and just slowly, where you can't see it. Sorry guys, this is kind of difficult for me to put it where you can see it. And then just slowly twist it on the drill bit. Push a little bit each time, and then every time look at it, make sure that you're staying nice and straight with your drill bit. Sorry guys, I got paint and everything all over my hands. I've been doing everything today. So anyway, you just keep pushing it on there. Don't go too far because you don't want to drill all the way through. And how I gauge it is I'll pull it out and I'll stick the drill bit in there as far as it'll go, and then I'll mark it with my fingernail and pull it out. As long as you got about 1/8 of an inch or so sticking in there, you're fine. Don't go too far because you don't want to drill through there. So again, I'll get these all 4 done, and the back ones, already done the front one. The back ones, they have this extra tab on the back to hold the tire on the back, and with using these big fat M2 tires, that tab gets in the way. So I've already cut that tab off of there. So now all we got to do is just drill our hole in here too. So now we'll get those all drilled, and then we'll stick our brass tubing in there. So like you see, just slowly push and turn, and you can see, I don't know if you can tell, see the shavings coming out of the drill bit, and just pull it out, clean it off, push it back in there, gauge it, pull it out. See, I'm in there that far already, so we are in there plenty. We do not need to drill that anymore, we'll end up coming through. Sorry, I keep bumping the camera. So we'll get this finished, and then we'll start cutting, and I'll show you how we put these axles on. Alright, so we got the wheels all painted, we got the holes all drilled, we got them all put together now. All it's time to do now is start putting the axles in. So I take my axle in my hole that I've already drilled out, and I'll just push it down in there a little bit, wiggle it, make sure it's all the way in there. And then how I gauge how long to make the tubing is I stick the tire on here. You don't want the tires rubbing, so you want to make them, yeah, you can't see. There ain't enough light in there to see. Anyway, yeah, you don't want the tires rubbing against the inside of the truck, so you want to make sure that you make it long enough that you're not going to have any hang-ups. It's going to stick out past the truck a little bit, but that's okay because that seems to be what everybody likes, including myself. I don't mind it sticking out a little bit, but you know, a whole lot, that's just too much for me. So we got to get this situated, and remember that these M2 wheels and tires, I'm showing you the wrong side. See how much the tire sticks past the inside of that rim? You got to remember that, so you got to compensate for that when you cut the tubing. You want it to go all the way to touch the rim so that the tires don't slide back and forth too much in the truck and it's just loose and doesn't look good. So you put this on where you want it, and the way I do it is I stick it so where it's not going to rub. I give it a little bit of clearance, and then I'll come out here and I'll cut this long because I'd rather cut this a little shorter than have to cut another piece. So, got that together. Now let's go ahead and push the other set of tires on there, stick it on the truck, and see how our spacing is. So that's way too far. You can't tell that because it's too much black in there. Trust me, it's way too far. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this apart, and we're going to cut a little smidgen more off of here. And we'll stick her back together where you can't see it as usual. I pushed it on too far that time. Give it a little pull there. Still a little tight. Give it another little pull. Okay. So that's where we want it. It's nice and tight, and it should spin freely. Once we give her another tiny little pull. Alright, I like that. We got a little bit of a wiggle room there. So now all we have to do is cut our tubing. And the way I like to do the tubing is obviously you got to pull one set of wheels off, stick the tubing all the way against the other rim, and then measure it, and then, yeah, where you can't see it. And then you want to leave a pretty good distance there for it to go into the other tire. So we're going to cut it right about there. It's going to be real quick and easy. And loud. I forgot to say loud, didn't I? So we shove that on there, and I think it's just a little bit too long. I need to cut a touch more off of there. I'll do it away from the camera so it's not so daggone loud. Okay. Now we got that cut. Jam that on there, so we got just enough room left to stick our other wheel and tire on there. Shove that on there. You want to squeeze them tight, but not so tight that you can't turn your tubing inside the wheel. So just make sure that that turns freely and easily, and once that is moving nice and easy, then we'll take it over to the truck. See how that works. That's going to work good for me. I like that. So the back wheels and tires are set. All we have to do is glue them on, and this baby will just about be set. So there's the backs. Can you see that? No, crooked. She's going to have a pretty good stance to her. Okay, so next, let's get the fronts done. Again, same deal. Take our rod, shove it down in there, stick it on the truck. Now you also got to remember these back wheels now are going to stick out proud of the truck. So once you get those even, you see they're going to stick out about a half a tire. Yeah, about a half a tire on each side. You want the front to match, because if the front is way inside here, inside the wheel well here, it's just not going to look right. So you want to make sure that the front sticks out about a half tire. So we stick that out about there. You know, like, I know it's hard for me to do this. Stick this out here, push it out about a half a tire, and then come over here, and again we're going to cut this sucker long, because we would rather have to cut it again than to have to pull it out and put in a new piece. So we'll check this. We'll get our other tire here, and we'll see how we line up. And then I judge this from looking at the top down to see. And we're about a half a tire, sticking out about a half a tire on either side. It's really, really close, and I think that's going to be good enough. Yeah, that sticks out a little bit. Could be a little more, but I can adjust that by just give the tire a little pull and twist, because we shoved a lot of that rod up in there, so we got a little bit of room to play with. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to roll with, that right there. So now we pull this off of here, off of one side. Do the same as we did the other. Cut this a little bit short of the other end, right there. Whack this real quick. Okay. See how this goes. Like so. Stick that on there and see what we get. I know it's going to be not easy for you guys to tell, but she's going to stick out a little bit on either side, which is what we wanted. So let me get some glue on these, and we'll continue on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the axles that I just made, and I'm just going to glue them right here to the bottom of where the other ones were, and that's going to be enough to give it enough of a lift that all the tires clear, and we got a nice little lift kit on it. So I'll be back. Alright, y'all, so I started gluing stuff together, and next thing you know, I had it all together and I forgot to turn the camera back on. So it's done. This is my, I think it's an 18 F-350. I painted over everything so you can't tell anymore, but I believe it was a 2018 or maybe a 19 F-350. Dually, I've got the push bar on there that I got from 802 Customs. I think that turned out sweet. I really, really like that push bar he makes now. In fact, I actually went and ordered me a couple more. I need to do a little touch up around my lights. I had a little bit too much white paint on there. I added a winch on the front of this bumper that I got from, I believe, Portland Car Lover. What else we did? We jacked it up a little bit. Got some M2 tires on there. I left the original rims. We just painted them green, as you can see, or painted them black. I got a little bit of touch up to do on those. Added a back window rack and a toolbox, also 802 Customs. And then I also added a diesel exhaust tip, also 802 Customs. Most of my stuff I get from him just because it's very good quality. Got the exhaust in there painted. Got, like I said, just a little bit of touch-up paint here and there to do. I just wanted to get this video done before I do anything else with it. All in all, I think she turned out pretty good. What do y'all think of that? I really, like I said, I really like that push bar. In fact, I liked it so much after I built this truck, I got on the internet and ordered 2 more. So, that is my 2018, 2019, should be the same as this red one, I would imagine. 2019 F-350 dually. Was my, I believe it was Texas police truck. I'm trying to remember. Fort Worth, Texas police truck, I believe. And now she's not. Anyway, hope y'all like that. If you do, think about liking, subscribing. Check me out on Instagram. Check me out on eBay. All that information's in the description below. Y'all have a great day. Don't forget to come back now. Bye.